Hi, Wes Maple. So this is going to be a demo of how to make two-dimensional shapes turn into three-dimensional forms that go back in one-point perspective. So for this, you're going to need a ruler, you're going to need a pencil, and an eraser. I'm going to highlight a couple of things with Sharpie just to make it a little bit easier to see, but you won't really need a Sharpie. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is on my paper, I'm going to draw a light line in the middle. This is going to be my horizon line. On that horizon line, pick one point, and it doesn't matter where on the line it is, but make sure it's on the line, and just darken that point up. That is going to be your vanishing point. So, same as in the video, what I can do is you can label it, so I can point to it, and I'm just going to label it out of the way, vanishing point. I'm going to start off with three different shapes. I'm going to start off with either rectangle or square, and this part I am going to do in Sharpie just so you can see it a little bit easier. So on the vanishing point itself, I'm going to start off with a nice square. I'm going to try to draw the lines as straight as possible. The easiest way it is to use a ruler or a stencil for these. So if I start off with a nice square, that if you see is on the horizon line. Above the horizon line, someplace on this side of the paper, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then below the horizon line, I'm going to draw another rectangle. I'm going to make this one a little bit longer and a little bit skinnier this way. The reason why I chose to put the objects above, on, and below is because they're going to look a little bit different coming out. This is where your ruler and your pencil and eraser are going to come in handy. So the way it works is every line that comes off from the shapes is going to go into the vanishing point. So imagine this kind of like the rays of a sun. They're all coming out from one end. For each shape, I'm going to look at each corner and I'm going to think about, can I draw a line that goes straight into the vanishing point without going through the shape itself? If I can, I am going to do that. So I'll start from the top. From the top, the corners that I can draw a shape without going, the corners that I can draw a line without going through the shape is this one, and this one. So I'm going to line up my ruler from the corner to the vanishing point. I'm going to draw a line in there. I'm going to line up the other corner. Draw a line in there. And I'm finally going to line up my third corner to the vanishing point. Going to line up a line, draw a line in there. Those are either the orthogonals or the lines to the vanishing point lines. So in theory, if my shape started off from far away, this is how it would continue to get smaller and smaller. If I don't want my shape to go all the way back into space, what I'm going to do is match the line between these orthogonals. So between these two lines, I have a horizontal line. All I'm going to do is somewhere down between those two, I'm going to match that. Between these two lines, I have a vertical line. I'm going to match that vertical line. And then all I'm going to do is erase the lines, the rest of the lines that I don't need. So this, I'm going to highlight it just to make it a little bit easier to see. This rectangle, as it goes back into space to give it the illusion of three-dimension, will look like this. I'm going to go to the shape that's on the horizon line. Since there's only two corners that can draw a line without going through the shape. This one's a little bit easier. So all I'm going to do, line up the corner, draw a line there, line up this corner as the vanishing point, and draw a vanishing point line. Now, because this is only one line, it's only a vertical line between these two orthogonals, all I have to do is somewhere along the way, draw a vertical line and then erase the extra lines that I don't need. So this shape will look like this, going back into space. It makes it a little bit easier to see when I highlight them with the Sharpie. Make sense? And finally, I'm going to do the same thing for this one. I'm going to go fairly quickly for this one. So there's three corners I can line it up for. I'm going to line up the vanishing point into the corner, draw a line there, draw a line there, draw a line there, and then I'm just going to match them. So if this is a horizontal line between these two lines, wherever I want my shape to go, so my shape can go as far as I want it to go, I'm just going to match it with a horizontal line, and my next one's a vertical line. I'm just going to match it with a vertical line. So going back into space, I'm going to trace it out a little bit darker so you guys can see it a little bit easier. This is what a 3D version of my shape will look like going back toward a single 1 point vanishing line. Then I can erase everything else. And that is how you draw forms. Remember, forms are three-dimensional versions of shapes. Forms going back toward 1 point for 1 point perspective. Have a little bit of fun with this, West Maple. You're welcome to add as many shapes as you want. Draw them, turn them into forms going back into space, into 1 point. You're welcome to color them. You're welcome to do anything else. Our next step, next week, I'm going to show you how to turn this into one portion of a room in your house and then draw everything in 1 point perspective. Thanks for watching.